A single-page application is a type of a modern web application where the user only needs to load the web page for once. In other words, the user will only need to download all the static assets, for example, the CSS and JavaScript files for only one time, and rely on client-side routing to navigate around the web app. By client-side routing, which simply means a mechanism to swap the content in a DOM with another without refreshing the page. We are really changing what's to show and what's not to show in a page, and hence the name single page application. Thankfully, we didn't need to do much work for client-side routing because React provided us a library called the React Router, which will do all the hard work for us. Let's see how we can install and use React Router in our project. First of all, we'll go to the documentation and head to the quick start guide. And if we look at the sample code, it is fairly simple for us to set up React Router. At the time of recording this video, the latest version is version 6, so be mindful of the syntax if you're using a different version. Anyway, if we look at the code snippet here, the first thing that we want to do is to wrap everything within a browser router component. This component will initialize React Router and allow us to use the routing logic in its children. Next, we have the routes component, and that is where we're going to define all the routes in our app within it. It looks a bit scary now, it's okay, we'll go through it together one by one. Let's first install React Router in our project. I'll copy the npm install command and paste it inside our terminal. Once that's done, we'll go to our app.jsx and initialize the React Router structure as we have seen inside the documentation. We will have the browser router, followed by the routes component, and I'll also clear out all the dummy elements that we have created previously. Now within the routes tag is where we will define our client-side routes. Generally speaking, all the components that we created inside the pages folder will need to have a route. At the moment, we have a contact page and a home page. Let's create a route for the home page. To do that, within a routes tag, we will load a route component from React Router and pass in our home page component into the elements prop. Now you'll notice that the autocomplete doesn't work. This is a quirk of VS Code, so if you want VS Code to auto-import a React component for you, we'll need to pass in the props argument inside the component function, which currently does not exist inside the home component. And now back to app.js, we can see that the autocomplete triggers will now show our homepage component, and we'll hit tab to auto-import the component. Once we have specified the element for the route, we need to define the path for it. So in order for us to visit the home page, the user will need to visit the root route, which is a simple slash for the path props. And while we're here, let's quickly create another route for our contact page as well. Once we're done, let's go to the browser. We are at the root route at the moment, so the home page is rendering. However, if I change the URI to /contact, we get a different component rendered in a DOM. Beautiful. And that is the basic of registering client-side routes in React Router. One important note here is that we should not put any other component than the route component within the routes tag. Otherwise, React Router will complain. We'll continue in the next lesson. Alright, key takeaways for this lesson. Single page application, or SPA for short, is a type of modern web app where we need to download the static assets for only once. SPA utilizes client-side routing for page navigation, and React Router is a client-side routing library for React applications. In order to register routes in our application, we need to use the browser router, routes, and route components from the React Router library. That's it for now, and I'll see you again in the next video. If you enjoyed the content of this video, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell icon for more content to come. It will really help me out. Thanks for your support.